Hey there, it's Angeline here, and today we are going to be checking in on some of our plants, adding some nutrients, adding some food, taking a good look to see when we need more nutrients versus when it's just a lot of light, and going from there. So, oh, I forgot I had myself on in the background. Let me turn up the volume. I forgot I had myself on in the background. Let me turn up the. All right, no echo. There we go. Didn't know that was on. I set it up on the computer. All right, so we have our switch chart here. It's looking good. Everything is fine. Um, rotate back what this way? Oh, okay. Switch chart here. Everything's looking good. Our peppers, as you can see, it's getting a little brown. So we're gonna definitely need to add some more nutrients in. We have our lettuce. This lettuce, I think, is getting too much light. But some of our tomato leaves are curling. I did trim it, give it some pruning earlier this week. So definitely needs a little more nutrients. So we're going to be adding some water and some food. We have added some Goliath peppers in here. Our lavender is just starting. So earlier today we took lavender outside. We have our hibiscus that didn't start yet, and we have a little more lettuce growing in. Jalapenos are coming in strong. All right, so let's get our nutrients in and get started. So let's put the camera in here. Uh-oh. It's a little crooked because we were filming outside. So let's get you guys in the holder so we can add some water and nutrients to the plants. So this nutrient I'm adding, tell you a little bit of what's in it and where I'm going to put it. So what I do is it's short about 1 gallon of water. So I'm going to add a gallon of water into it. It has calcium. It has nitrogen, which is basically the main ingredient, the main thing needed, a little bit of iron, but that nitrogen and calcium are our main ingredients. Of course, there's a few other things, but we'll be adding those as well. So I have my containers pre-measured out. I let them sit to get some of the harmful contaminants out of the regular water and get some of the fluoride out and those type of things. Then I take a little lid off here. First, once you have the lid off, sometimes stuff falls in. But we're going to add in our gallon of water. This is pre-measured as a gallon. We have a lot of parsley growing. Every once in a while, I check the roots of the plants down here to make sure they didn't kind of embed themselves into, make sure their roots aren't in here. Hi. Today is definitely Angeline and the team day. The team is now up and ready to go. So we're going to put in our spoon per gallon. I'm going to put 7 gallon in there, or half a gallon at least. So we're going to do a full spoon of food. Putting directly in there. Usually sometimes I mix it in the water, but today I'm putting it directly in there. And I usually mix it in a cup and put it in the water. So what you'll see is in a cup like this. Have my little spoon. And then I mix the water in. Right now we have a little under, the measuring said that it was 2 gallons short, but after I finished watering and the water dripped back in, it was 1 gallon short. So I'm just putting 1 gallon in and cleaning out the little spoon. So this is usually how I mix it. I put some of the food in like this, dissolve it, and then pour it in. So there we go. So that's how we feed our plants. And then again, I sometimes check the roots down here to make sure none of the roots are going right into the water. As you can see, it was. When they go directly into the water, what tends to happen is the plants at the bottom just eat the food out. And then the plants at the top never get the food because it went directly. These are just drinking it right out of the base. When that happens, especially the roots are this long, I cut them. They don't need to be this long. It's fine to cut the roots. So we cut them off. It's a good practice with doing hydroponics. And you just cut the roots off. Sometimes I like to cut also in here like this. to make sure that, cut like a little triangle, to make sure that the water can get in and the roots are really drinking out of this cup. What is that? Oh, cover. So I get this part out. Yes. Mm-hmm. And make sure that the water is getting inside in there. But yes, this also adds to the plants because you can see this is growing full and bushy because it's drinking up all the nutrients out of the water, and the ones higher up are only getting regular water. No water with no food in it. So let me just check. Let's check the mint. See if that's not happening to the mint. The mint is doing fine, and the dill they're just little babies here. They're not even the roots are just beginning. All right, so we got this one doing well. All right. Let me close this. Yes, that's the spoon. That's our measuring spoon. And we're going to go to the other side, to our other garden. This one here. Now this one, I've checked the roots recently, but of course we can check it again. Let's see how the plants are doing here. There are some, see this a little bit on the edges. So, you know, it could use a little more food. These tomato plants aren't turning. These are a little weaker. So, and these are getting just too much light. On the other one, as you see, I moved the spinach to the side, and then this spinach down here, it's behind a jalapeno plant full of jalapenos. So you get tons of jalapenos here, and behind the lettuce, so there's a lot of stuff going on. No. She's just here doing things she's not supposed to. No. This is not a sampler for you. All right, now we're gonna add, again, it's 1 gallon that this one needs. So we're gonna add our gallon in of water. We have our pre-measured gallon. No. Oh, I also forgot, which I'm gonna go back and do, to put the peroxide in. So I put a little bit of peroxide to help prevent against algae growth. So we put in our gallon. Empty it out in here. That's it full. And then we're gonna add, our peroxide is basically finished. So I'm gonna add some empty the bottle in there. Hydrogen boost. This is trash now. And then we're going to add our food in. I'm gonna do a heaping spoon because I usually do the correct measurement of a spoon, but as you can see, some of them are still not getting enough nutrients. To plants like tomatoes and peppers do ask for a little more food. So we're gonna give a heaping spoon here. And then do our little mix in the cup. Where's the cup go? They took the cup from me. I believe they sold the cup. I have to go retrieve my cup from the team. Give me 1 minute. Here it is. They did take the cup and carried it a little bit out with them. So again, same thing. Just pour some of the water into the cup. It's a little extra than the gallon. Mix it in. So mix in the spoon. So now the spoon's nice and clean. Pour it in. Some of the food got stuck on the way in. And there you go. The water just ran. And I have to use the phone to run the water. So I'm going to do that right now. But that's how we add our nutrients. And then we just check in our plants to see how they're feeling or doing. Again, this one, as you can see, it's starting to turn yellow, so it needs a little bit more nitrogen. Some of these leaves are curling, so they also need a little bit more food. So we added some food. Even our cucumber needs a little bit more food down there, and it's not like the plant is heavily loaded with fruit or anything. It just has one small fruit, and yet it's still, the leaves aren't as green as they need to be. So those are definite signs that it needs a little bit more food added. So we definitely added some more, and we'll see how it's developing. But things like this, so don't confuse these leaves turning brown, which is lack of food. Here's an example of lack of food, compared to these, which they're supposed to be in indirect light, but right here they're in direct light. So they're getting too much light. The reason why I put them there is because I had a lot of these type of pots here taking the light, so it was okay. But now that they moved, it's getting a little too much light. So I'm either gonna put something back in front of it or move it to one of these low light corners here. So it wouldn't get as much light as it's currently getting here, which is making the edges a little browner. All right, but let's just check because we checked the other one. We'll check this one quickly. Make sure none of the roots are drinking the water directly out. Same thing with oregano. You can see this oregano, is getting indirect light, which is good, nice and shaded. So yeah, it's not being rooted in. It does have someone who is trying to steal its food, but at least it's not being rooted in. This one, everything, the roots are contained, and that one, the roots haven't started yet. We just planted this last week. All right, so I'm going to take our collard. It doesn't look like our collard greens are who's stealing from. It's probably the basil plant who's stealing some nutrients from our oregano. But as you can see, this is a difference. This is when there's too much sun on a plant that does not need as much light. So these have the drier edges. So it's a different type of leaf turning when they're getting overly sunlight, as opposed to these. Like this is another overly sunlight leaf, as opposed to these where they're getting the right amount, but the edges are a little because they're not getting enough food. And same with here too. So it's a little different. All right, so we have added extra food, and stay tuned, and I'll keep you guys posted on how these plants are growing. Don't forget to subscribe, follow along for the notifications. It's been Angeline and the team. Stay green always, and I'll see you guys next time.